Okay, just something I wanted you to think about. It's a term called puffing. What is puffing in real estate? Puffing is a real estate marketing technique that involves making exaggerated claims about a property to make it more appealing to buyers. Puffing is legal and is different from fraud. I don't understand how lying is different from fraud. This is the most beautiful home on the block. This property is sure to increase in value in the future. This property has great potential. This yard is the nicest I have ever seen. This house is enormous. What is puffering in a car? Seen that done too many times. Puffering is the practice of leaving your car running unlocked or unattended while it's warming up. I thought they were talking about used car salesmen. What does puff mean in slang? The derogatory, chiefly Northern England slang, synonym of proof a gay man, especially one who is. Never mind. What does puffing mean? Puffing has multiple meanings, include breathing, smoking, and speaking in a certain way. What's the difference? Okay, so basically, puffing is lying, okay? Okay, where is it? Right here. Okay, Tesla investors have sued Elon Musk for making misleading claims about the company's products, which Musk lawyers argue are corporate puffery. A judge dismissed a lawsuit claiming that Musk's claims about Tesla's autopilot and full self-driving technology were corporate puffery and forward-looking statements. Something he might be able to do, but can't do right now. He should have said that when he sold the cars. That would show some integrity, some honesty, ethics. Dogecoin tweets. A judge dismissed a lawsuit claiming that Musk tweets about Dogecoin or Dogecoin. I say Doge. Were puffery and not factual. See, people, I keep telling you, justice always goes to the highest bidder. He who has most gold wins. Investors have sued Musk for founding xAI, a rival AI company, and diverting sources from Tesla to xAI. Investors have sued Musk for allegedly trading Tesla stock under insider information. Musk's lawyers have argued that his statements were vague statements and corporate optimism, and that no reasonable investor would rely on them. No reasonable investor should take his word for what he's doing. But these are the courts, guys. Tesla has won several lawsuits over its self-driving technology, but still faces investigations by California Attorney General Office and the U.S. Department of Justice. And I heard those were stopped. Yeah, when businessmen go from paying politicians to do their bidding to cutting out the middleman and becoming the politician himself. Elon Musk is celebrating winning a lawsuit over his misleading claims regarding Tesla's self-driving program. However, before celebrating, he should take a closer look at his defense lawyers took. Puffery, by definition, puffery refers to exaggerated or false praise. Okay, people, when people tell you who they are, you should believe them. And when it comes to lying in the business world, it's legal. How is it legal? How is that in the public interest? Remember, all laws created must be in the public interest. The Constitution was created for the needs of the greater good, the needs of the many, not the needs of the few. But that isn't happening. Okay. If you read the rules of professional conduct, code of judicial, there's so many other things that I posted about. If you read, there's a lot of things that are happening that shouldn't be happening legally. But because none of you can afford a law degree or go to law school or led to believe that you can't understand the law. I was led to believe the same thing, that I couldn't understand the law. You have to be a lawyer to understand the law, until I read the law. And, then you'll find out, if you read the laws as much as I do, you'll find out that when lawyers talk about it, they start using words and terms and things I can't understand. I would literally have to go to law school to learn the language that they speak. But they always get upset when I refer to layman's terms, keeping it in layman's terms. I'm not a legal, educated, seasoned professional such as you, so you want me to compete on the same grounds as you, knowing I don't have the education equal to that. How is that fair? The U.S. Constitution does guarantee a fair trial. Well, we're not on trial right now, but we will be. And you're alleging, basically, they're puffering. And lawyers will do that just as much. I got arrested for a case, and he kept exaggerating what the plaintiff was going to get more and more and more money out of me. I didn't believe him. He got mad because I wanted to see the hospital reports, the police reports, so I can verify what he's saying is true. And he decided I didn't need it. When I wanted to see the hospital reports, what are you, a doctor? I wanted to see the police reports. What are you, a cop? Every bit of discovery he refused to give me, and that's illegal. Well, the state's attorney didn't say nothing, judge didn't say nothing. So it's illegal for you to lie in court, but it's not illegal for judges, lawyers, and But either way, I just wanted to talk to you about puffing. What you expect from corporate politicians. Politicians are infamous for puffing. Okay, I just wanted you to understand what's illegal for we isn't illegal for thee. Your public servants. Every politician, every lawyer, every judge, every doctor, anybody behind a badge or uniform, anybody that collects a taxpayer-generated paycheck is a public servant. Look up the public trust. You'll find that they are part of the public trust. The judicial system, anything medical, healthcare, mental health care, and that used to be in the public trust. A lot of stuff and they're trying to take what's left in the public trust and sell it off. Social Security, education. Look what they did to the United States Postal Service. Okay. In the law, it says they are legally required, to do what's in the public interest and maintain the public trust. Okay, so the public trust is medical, anything legal, that's yours. That's your trust fund, part of your trust fund as a United States citizen. Okay, and you have the legal system and all your public servants. Pillaging. You got pillaging your trust fund. Hey, come on, people, look it up. The public trust. Okay. The public trust. And then look up the list of public servants. Okay, I'm just trying to get you not to lose what's yours. You've been screwed over by the judicial system more than enough. You've been screwed over by politicians more than enough. Look what they're doing to Social Security. How much money did they take from Social Security to settle national debt? And the only reason the national debt was so big is because all the tax breaks for the corporations and, the average Joe taxpayer. They don't make enough money to pay more taxes to give to the rich people. People, I don't know if you realize this, the IRS, the taxation system, that's part of the public trust. And that was to benefit the public interest. Those tax dollars are meant for infrastructure and medical education. That's part of the public trust. That's what tax dollars are there for. Not for corporate greed, not for corporate tax breaks, not for, giving them money to send rockets to Mars. No, that's totally illegal. But if you won't know that until you look up the public trust doctrine, until you look up the list of public servants, and then you read the rules of professional conduct, code of judicial conduct, and not forget to apply the letter of the law. There's so many things that we need to go over. Okay, but I just wanted you to understand this term, puffing, puffery. And it's really crazy. The judge says corporate puffery and forward-looking statements, Puffery and not factual. Musk's tweets about Dogecoin were puffery and not factual. So listen to the judge, okay? A judge dismissed the lawsuit claiming that Musk's tweets about Dogecoin were puffery and not factual. Investors have sued Musk for... Okay, and they lost. The judge said they should have known better to believe Elon. Okay, most of you, whether it's one side or the other, I'm apolitical. Most of you are political loyalists. You take one side or the other. I don't take either side because in my world, in my mind, and maybe just in my opinion, but the RNC and the DNC are owned and operated by Wall Street, corporate profits. Anybody can correct me if you think I'm wrong. That's the only part I'm stating is my opinion. But as far as it being legal for rich people to lie and get away with it, but you can't? You can't. That is clear deception. That is clearly... But so far, you have rich people hiring lawyers to write laws that are to their benefit, but legally no law can be written that is not in the public interest. All laws must be in the public interest. This is how to maintain the public trust, which the legal system is part of the public trust. But I was watching the news today and listening to all this puffering from Elon Musk, complaining about the Social Security system, complaining about, what is he going to complain about, unemployment? Everything he's talking about is to benefit the rich. I don't know if you see my video about the White House putsch, when FDR was president, the rich people got together and they decided that they were going to take over the White House and march on the White House and remove FDR because they didn't like this idea about Social Security. They didn't like the idea about basically doing anything in the public interest. When FDR created Social Security, he did it because it was in the public interest, which was entirely legal. And once it was created, it became part of the public trust. So it can't be touched. It can't be touched. But yet you got people telling you that the money you invested into Social Security, the money you put in the public trust, that's like putting money in the bank account, but a different bank account, just a retirement fund. That's basically what it is. Your retirement fund. But now they switch it around. They took away your pensions. Your politicians have pensions. I don't know if you noticed, your public servants have pensions, but you don't. They turned around and stopped that and turned them into IRAs so Wall Street can play with your money. I mean, these are your public servants, people. Look up the oath of public service, okay? The oath is unconditional, and it's a law. It's the law, and violating the oath, mandatory fines, removal from public service, and incarceration. And if the consequences are severe enough, it could warrant the death penalty. Okay, so those, I'm adamant about the law. Sometimes when I speak, the only ones that listen and tend to run off so they don't have to hear me are lawyers, and people that aren't lawyers laugh. And what people laughed at most is when lawyers will yell at me and tell me, who the hell do you think you are? And I'd say, we the people, and they'd storm off, and people would laugh, oh, that's real funny. But see, most people don't realize what attorneys and judges do. When I say we the people, that's just an abbreviation of the oath they took, okay? I don't know if you ever read the oath they took. A lawyer's oath, a judge's oath, a cop's oath. I had a cop yell at me, tell me, what are you, a constitutionalist? Yeah, aren't we all? He said, no. I said, but wait a minute, you never read the Constitution? Well, I says, you took an oath to uphold, support, and defend the United States Constitution was written to serve and protect we the people. So you literally took an oath to serve and protect me, as in we the people. Yes, I am a constitutionalist. I've been called that a lot, especially when I talk about the law. They say I am the constitutionalist because I stick to the Constitution. Any law repugnant to the U.S. Constitution is null and void, and that's no secret. Well, at least in the legal community, they know that, but you don't. But anyways, anything I say you can look up, and I usually use the internet. I almost always use the internet to show you exactly what I'm talking about. And when people used to listen to me before, they used to say I sound like a lawyer, but laugh at me because I wasn't. If you're not a lawyer, how could you know all this? I just have a vast tendency to remember what I read. Well, things of importance. And I always thought I should know the law. It affects you in every way. Look what they're doing to you now on the internet. You look at something on the internet, next you know, you go somewhere else and you're getting all these ads. They're literally tracking you and using your data to sell to other institutions, and they're selling your information back and forth on the internet highway, and the internet highway is part of the public trust, okay? So they are literally, that's highway robbery. That's literally highway robbery. I mean, in order for them to use your information and sell it, you must give informed consent. And informed consent requires reasonable knowledge to make an informed decision to give informed consent. And you didn't give informed consent, and nobody's doing nothing about it. Some people are starting to sue. And finally, but that was illegal to begin with, so why was it happening? Why was it happening? Was it the public interest? Was it maintaining the public trust? No, but I'll tell you, it made a whole lot of people a whole lot of money. And since it was illegal, that's ill-gotten gains. Sounds like somebody could throw the RICO Act at that, right? Did you ever read up the RICO Act? I'm just trying to encourage you to look up laws like I used to. I mean, I not say I know all of them, but sometimes it seems redundant because when I take these laws to a court of law, judges and lawyers, they talk over me, they ignore me. They ignore the fact that I consistently prove a conspiracy to deprive rights under the color of law, no matter what court I step into, child court, child custody court, family court, criminal court, civil court. No matter what court I've been in, every lawyer and every judge tosses the rules and the codes to the side and just goes by their thoughts and feelings, which is against the law. The rules of professional conduct and the code of judicial conduct are literally the definition of effective assistance of counsel, which is guaranteed in the Sixth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. And if you've been denied effective assistance of counsel, you've been denied a fair trial. If you've been denied a fair trial, you've been denied due process. And that's not to mention all the other amendments that if you read the law, you'll find out that it's the rule of law is non-existent. The rule of law doesn't exist as long as qualified immunity does. The rule of law was established to abolish qualified immunity. So if we have qualified immunity, we have no rule of law. And you clearly see that on a day-to-day basis. The law does not apply equally to everybody. And I'm showing you a whole lot of laws that people aren't even using. People aren't even going to jail for this stuff and losing their jobs. And, they're supposed to be held to higher standard. But they aren't. They're supposed to be zero tolerance. But they tolerate anything each other do. Public servants will tolerate any other public servant breaking the law, and they will make it look like you broke the law. But I've been helping the people through a lot of stuff like that, and I'll tell you, it's like an adrenaline rush. My life has been threatened so many times. I've been left for dead. I actually had the cops threaten my entire family. So I had to stop doing what I was doing for me, but it didn't stop me from doing what I went out there, I went to the courts, I helped other people. I didn't have access to the internet. There wasn't even the internet when I started doing this. And I'm not going to stop. I know that what I'm doing, people are going to be dragged down with me. But I don't know. I just always had this thing about doing what's right for the greater good. It's always, the Constitution's always been about the greater good. And it's about damn time our government, our legal system, the powers that be start respecting the Constitution. I mean, nobody's even lived up to it yet. That part where it says, every man created equal by their creator, endowed with certain inalienable rights, that which are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That hasn't even happened yet. I mean, so do you actually believe all this other? Just stop by at Legal Reform. I got a whole bunch of laws there that nobody's talking about, nobody's pursuing, nobody's prosecuting these criminals for. And all these criminals are depriving you of due process, a fair trial, effective assistance of counsel. I mean, come on, a quick and speedy trial, there are limitations on it. And if those limitations are exceeded, that means the case is null and void. They have to drop it. That's an automatic get out of jail free card. People, no matter what state you're in, just look up quick and speedy trial. Okay, there's a lot of people sitting behind bars denied a quick and speedy trial. You know why? It's called what I call the war of attrition. You know, they make these people sit there and wait it out, and these people don't know they have a right to a quick and speedy trial. So they wind up sitting there months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, and it's just to force them to take the plea deal, to cop out. You know why? Because their lawyers, ineffective assistance of counsel. If they look up the rules of professional conduct, they would find that. And how effective is your assistance of counsel if they aren't demanding a quick and speedy trial, if they are demanding that the state's attorney expedite litigation and see, I'm just reading the rules to you, okay? So it may sound like a common conversation to you, but if you read the rules of professional conduct, you'll find out that your rights to due process, they don't exist. Nobody respects them. Nobody respects that. Chasing due process, man, it's hard, it's difficult. You know, from the moment that paperwork is signed, no matter if it's a criminal case, civil case, it's always predetermined who's going to win. They know from the very beginning, so they just drag you through a show to make you think the legal process is actually in action. It's not. It's inaction. But you would know that if you knew what I knew. And you could, if you just stop by Legal Reform and read all the stuff I post. I'm not taking any more phone calls because people get too political. I'm not about the politics. I'm just about the law. I am apolitical. And then they want to tell me the whole story. They don't need to tell me the whole story, and they yell at me and get mad at me and keep telling me everything they've been through when all I'm trying to do is show them a way out. I don't need to know what you've been through because I know what you haven't been through. Due process, a fair trial, effective assistance of counsel, quick and speedy trial. See, I know what's supposed to happen in the beginning, and it doesn't happen. So if everything that's supposed to happen at the very beginning, as prescribed in the Rules of Professional Conduct and the Code of Judicial Conduct, anything thereafter is illegal. That's nothing but legal harassment. And in the Rules of Professional Conduct and the Preamble, it clearly states that legal harassment is illegal. Okay, folks, I just wanted to hit you up on this Doge, this theology. It's ridiculous. It's puffery. Anything Doge is puffery. Okay, so Department of what? No, it's just another rich man's con game, a Ponzi scheme. And that's in my opinion. But my opinion is based on history. You know, don't let history repeat itself, folks. Do not let history repeat itself.